Good morning and welcome to day one of my 5-day morning yoga journey. Yoga is a fantastic way to start your day. Slowly waking up your muscles, your joints, lubricating your body and easing your mind into your day, no matter what it has to bring. If you don't have very much on, or if you have tons of meetings or whatever it is that you've got on today, just allowing your body that time in the morning to really adjust and come from your deep sleep into the bright day ahead of you. Only things I'll say that we need in this practice that might help you a little bit is a strap. So if you've got a yoga strap, that's great. But if not, fear not, because you could just reach over to your recently derobed dressing gown and use the strap from it. So this is a strap from one of my lovely dressing gowns. You can just sort of fold it in half, and then you can use this throughout your practice. If you think of props as a way of elongating or creating space or bringing the floor closer to you, so they are not there to remind you that you're bad at yoga. They are there to assist you in times when perhaps you can't reach because your body simply isn't long enough to do so. I have quite short arms, so I find it quite difficult to reach certain positions. So a strap just helps me get into this position safely and securely, because otherwise, I'm reaching forward. This is not a good stretch. In this position, for example, you want to have a long back and your arms want to be nice and secure. And this just gives me that tiny little bit of extra length, which allows me to do this properly. So a strap, really nice to have in this particular flow. And a cushion as well. If you don't have a bolster at home, a cushion does perfectly. Got a nice plush one, which we will be using at the very end of the class. But before we begin, if you have any injuries or if you are pregnant, please be careful during this flow. And any exercise that you're doing, particularly nowadays during the lockdown, when teachers can't see what you're doing, you really need to be mindful and aware of your own bodies. And your bodies will thank you for that, because if you're pushing them into positions or stretches that they are screaming at you to get out of, and you're not listening to them, then it's going to create problems down the line. So just tuning into your inner voice and getting rid of that ego, because no one's in this class with me, and you may be practicing with a friend or just by yourself, so no one else is judging what you look like in these lessons, which is fantastic. And to be honest, people don't do that in yoga classes anyway, but I know the feeling. So with that all said and done, I'm just going to sweep the grass off my mat and we can get started. So going to lie down on your back, stretching your legs out long away from you and allowing your body, your entire body, to sink down into your mat. Feeling the contact between your ankles and your legs and the mat below you, feeling them sinking deeper down into the ground. Feeling every little part of the body that is touching the mat right now, and noticing where perhaps the back side of your body is not touching. For example, right now I can feel that the tops of my shoulders are rolling inwards, because we're so used to hunching over desks and computers and stuff. So I'm going to consciously open up my chest by rolling my shoulders back and bringing my scapula, so my shoulder blades, down and inwards towards the lower back. And this, if I demonstrate this to you, rather than being like this, I'm consciously opening up through the chest, bringing the shoulder blades almost pinching together on my back. And this just creates really beautiful space through the chest, and it also relaxes the shoulders down away from your ears. And now I can actually feel that my shoulders are more or less in total contact with the mat below me. Relaxing the body fully and bringing your attention to the breath. Perhaps you want to place one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest. And begin to notice the gentle rise and fall with every breath that we take. So on your inhale, noticing as your chest slowly rises up, followed by your stomach as you send that inhale deeper down into your core, into your body. And exhale, we slowly sink down, stomach first, followed by the chest. Inhale to expand through the stomach and through the lungs. Sending the breath to the back, where the lungs are actually the largest. And exhale, lowering the hands down. Feeling the hands rise again on your inhale. And feeling them sink on the exhale. Really beautiful. Consciously and with ease and care, just placing your hands long down down sides of your body. Taking one more inhale all together. And taking a big out breath with your mouth wide. Doing that one more time, really exaggerating that sound on the exhale. So inhaling through the nose. And exhale with an open mouth. Very nice. Now, anchoring down through the left leg, we're bringing the right knee up and in to your chest. Hugging the knee into the chest here. You can either take a hold over the knee, although I find that's a little bit dodgy if you've got sore knees. So just placing the hands on top of the thigh, or on the bottom of the thigh, depending on where you're looking at it. And just hugging the knee into the chest, anchoring down through your left leg. So your left leg is active. You can either have a flexed or pointed foot here, as long as you are activating that leg. Hugging the right knee into the chest, maybe taking some hip circles here. Lubricating the hip joint, getting some movement and energy. Syncing up with your natural breath. And coming to place your right knee onto the left hand side of the mat, coming into a twist. So your right leg eases over to the left hand side of the mat, creating a twist through your spine. So your chest is still rising up to the ceiling, but your right knee is coming to lie on the left hand side of the mat. You can use your left hand to anchor down the right knee here and stretch your right arm out away from you towards the right hand side of the room. I always like to follow my gaze to the right hand side when you're twisting to the left. Gaze is over the right hand. And we're breathing here, feeling a stretch through the legs and a twist through the body. Twists are a really beautiful way to energize the body in the morning. Waking you up. On your next inhale, coming back to center, helping your knee up with your right hand if you need to do so. Hips come back into the center of the mat. And using your strap, bringing it around your right foot, we're coming into a sort of straight leg stretch up and away from you. So don't worry if your leg doesn't come too far or close to you, I suppose. If you want to be just sort of over here with a bent leg, then that's totally fine. As long as you're feeling a nice stretch through the back of the thigh and you're not feeling any sort of tension, that's what we want. So relaxing the shoulders down to the mat. You're still anchoring through that left leg as well as the right. Seeing if you can come any deeper into this stretch as we hold it for a bit longer. It's always important not to tug or to force yourself into any of these postures, because what we're doing in these slower stretches in yoga is allowing the connective tissue that's around and protecting our muscles to stretch so that our muscles can then stretch in a safe and protected way. But if we end up forcing ourselves into positions that we're not yet warmed up into, that's when we can create injuries or tears. So just being patient with your body. Lovely. Unhooking the strap from your foot and gently lowering down to the mat. Feeling the difference there between your legs, as one has worked and the other hasn't yet, but is about to. Anchoring down through the right leg, which is staying on the mat now, and bringing your left knee into your chest. Beginning to take some hip circles here, waking up the hips. Really just exploring those circles, going in one direction and then the other. And eventually coming to place the left knee onto the other side, so the right hand side of the mat. And you can kind of bump your hips to the left hand side of the mat. So left knee over to the right. Again, you can use your right hand to anchor down through the knee, but not forcing, again, not forcing yourself down. And I would suggest, extending the left arm out and away from you, and gaze follows to the left hand side of the room. You might want to try here placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth, which just relaxes your jaw. We often find ourselves clenching through the jaw, which has been directly linked to causing lower back issues. So relaxing the jaw is such an important thing to mindfully do. So just lightly placing your tongue on the top, on the roof of your mouth. And helping your knee back up to centre, placing your spine back into a neutral position. Grabbing a hold of your strap or your dressing gown cord, in my case, and just wrapping your foot in that strap, coming into an extend in the left leg. It might feel different on this side. I don't know why on this side I feel a lot more active. On the other side I wanted to be down on the ground, although that actually does feel really good. But yeah, as long as you're kind of getting a similar stretch, you can just play around with these movements. As long as you're relaxed, you're not holding any tension. You know, I'm not arched up like this. I'm creating space here. You can have a bend in the knee. In fact, you should have a bend in the knee, unless you have worked towards a straight leg. And with time, you will get that, you will create that space. Beautiful. Unhooking the strap from your left foot now, bringing your right knee and your left knee into your chest. And giving yourself a really big hug. So wrapping your arms around your legs, maybe even kissing your knees. Mwah, mwah. Now taking some spinal roll ups to get up to the top of the mat. So if this is uncomfortable for your spine, don't do it, but otherwise just have fun rolling up and down the length of your spine. And when you've had enough of this, coming up to a boat. I forgot we were going to do that. So let's do this one more time. Going back into your spinal rolls and coming up through to boat. Legs can be bent or outstretched if you want a bit more work in the morning. And relaxing the legs down to the ground into your dandasana, your staff pose. So legs are straight out long. Some people find this quite a difficult posture to be in. We won't be here for long, so don't worry. Extending up through the back. I absolutely need to use a strap in this posture, so please do so with me if you'd like. Wrapping the strap around your feet, we're coming into a forward fold. And by that, I mean we're just sort of like going towards a forward fold. I'm nowhere near that kind of like parallel shape that people are often able to do after a lot of practice. But sometimes our bodies just don't want us to do it. So extending up through the spine, creating as much space as possible before then coming forwards towards your feet, easing your way there. Creating space and length through the spine. And again, you might want to get deeper into this posture, so maybe grabbing a hold of your feet. And noticing that you can get deeper into these postures the more time you give your body. But the important thing in this posture is to have a long spine. So just easing off if you notice your spine rolling forwards. Unhooking the legs now and coming forward into your tabletop position. So just sort of like, I suppose, crossing your legs and coming forwards. Stacking the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hip bones. Your feet are just lightly pressed onto the mat. Coming into your cat and cows, so inhale to roll the shoulders, drop the belly and lift the gaze for your cow. And exhale for your angry cat, gaze towards the belly button, rounded back. Inhale for cow. Exhale, roll through for cat. Inhale. Exhale. Taking these in your own time now, so coming into your cats and your cows, feeling the spinal flexion in between each movement. And now beginning to think about this movement as playful. So if you imagine how an animal stretches, for example, they don't care what they look like and they don't care who's watching them, but they are just doing what feels good. And I think that we could learn so much from that. So to demonstrate not caring about what you look like or how stupid you might look, coming from your cats and cows, so inhaling, gaze up, exhale, gaze towards belly button, and then just playing around with it, having fun, tilting your hips from one side to the other, feeling a stretch through the sides of your legs and the sides of your body, maybe coming through to a puppy stretch, keeping your hips stacked over your knees here, possibly pushing back into a child's pose, stretching through the arms, but really just feeling it out, stretching through the wrists, giving yourself permission to totally let go and feel what feels best for you. Really nice. Coming back and meeting in our neutral tabletop position. Fixing your jumper if you need to do so. So neutral tabletop, wrists underneath the what are they called? Shoulders. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and tucking your toes underneath you and pressing up and back and away for your first downward dog of the day. So odds are it's pretty tight, it being your first downward dog. Stretching through the backs of the legs, making sure that you've got a nice bend through those knees. Thinking more about the length you're creating through your arms and your back rather than your knees. Making sure the shoulders are relaxed here and the hands evenly distributing the weight. Inhale to lift your gaze up and forwards towards the top of the mat, and stepping one foot and the next foot up to the top into your sorry, my necklace was getting caught on my thing. Forward fold. Stepping up into your forward fold, nice and gracefully. Maybe grabbing a hold of each elbow and relaxing the head down for your ragdoll variation. Swaying here from side to side. Letting go of your grasp and rolling vertebra by vertebra to come to stand at the top of your mat. Really beautiful. So coming into your first sun salutation, I thought we could break this down as it's day 1 of 5. So we're just going to break down our sun salutations, and they might get more heated, I suppose, throughout the week, but for today we're taking it nice and easy. So with your feet hip width distance apart at the top of the mat and with a bend in your knees, we inhale, rise the arms up and overhead, gaze follows. And exhale, hinging from the hips, we fold all the way down to the ground. Placing your hands onto your shins, we roll through the spine for a flat back. And exhale, forward fold. We'll take that 3 more times. So hands to shins. Inhale, roll the spine to your flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins. Flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. One more time. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, placing the hands onto the mat, we step 1 foot back and the other foot back into your plank. Inhale to lower the knees down to the ground. And exhale with your elbows hugging into your body, giving you a really good strong foundation. We lower down to the mat. Imagining that fluid movement through the spine coming into your cobras. So with your hands planted, though no weight is going into the hands, you could do this without the hands on the mat, but they are just there for a bit of support. So inhaling, rolling the neck up, gaze forwards for your low cobra. Exhale, we lower down to the mat. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, low cobra. And exhale, we push up through tabletop, tuck the toes under, hips go up and back for your downward facing dog. Anchoring down through the left foot, we rise the right foot up and back from us. Not worrying about getting a straight leg, but making sure that the hips are both facing the ground. Inhale to find length here, and exhale, stepping the right foot up in between the hands at the top of the mat, helping yourself up there if you need to do so. Making sure your feet are in train tracks and not tight ropes. We lower the left knee down to the ground and rise the arms up and overhead for your low lunge. So both knees are obviously bent, the hip bones are facing forwards, shoulders are relaxed. Imagine that scapula moving down through the back, the shoulder blades, like I said at the beginning of the class. And now creating right angles with your arms, as though they're called, what are they called? Cactus arms, like you're a cactus. So I'm bringing the arms into right angles like this. This is just creating space through the chest, opening up through the front of your body. Feeling strong and grounded here. You should feel a really nice stretch through your left thigh, but make sure that you're not dumping too much into the front, so you're still sort of anchoring up. There is control in both legs. You could walk your right foot forward slightly to feel more of a stretch, making sure that you can always see your right toes over your right knee. One more breath here, opening up. If you move with your breath, so opening up through the chest. And exhale, we float the arms down to the mat, tuck the left foot under and step back into your downward facing dog. Feel out the difference here between your legs, as one has done more work than the other again, and we're going to even them out. So inhaling, anchoring through the right foot, we lift the left foot up and back, and exhale, step it up to the top of the mat in between your hands. Making sure your feet are in parallels again. And placing your knee down to the ground. Inhaling, arms, arms rise up into your low lunge. Untuck the back foot. Walking the front foot slightly forward to get more of a stretch through the front of the thigh. Inhale, relaxing the shoulders. And coming into your cactus arm variation again, so creating two right angles with your arms, opening up through the chest. You can almost imagine a cat-cow variation here actually, so inhaling to open up through the chest and exhaling to round through the back. Inhaling to open up through the chest and exhaling to round through the back. Taking it one more time, inhale and exhale, floating the arms down to the mat, tucking the right foot under, stepping back to your downward dog. Coming into your child's pose now, so placing both knees onto the mat, opening them as wide as the mat, feet are together, push the hips down towards your feet, and coming to rest in child's pose for 5 breaths. Slowing down your heart rate, returning to your natural pace of breath. Beautiful. Now tucking your feet underneath you, coming back up into your downward facing dog. Hips go up and back, length through the arms, a bend in the knees. Head is relaxed. And anchoring down through the left leg, we rise the right leg up and back. And as we exhale, stepping the right leg in between the hands at the top of the mat. Parallel feet, this time arms rise all the way up into your high lunge. Option to lower the knee if you'd like to do so, but otherwise staying here in your high lunge, Both legs are really strong in this position. Again, you can see your right toes over your right knee. Hip points are facing forwards. Coming into your cow face arms here, so sweeping the right arm up and over behind your back to catch a hold of your t-shirt. Otherwise, your left hand comes to grasp a hold of your right hand. Gaze is slightly up, chest is open, lower body is really strong. Anchoring down through the sit bones, making sure you don't have an excessive tilt in your spine, you're staying strong and stable. Inhale to lengthen through the chest. On your next inhale, release the bind of the arms. Inhale the arms up and over, and exhale, we sweep them down to frame the front foot and step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale to anchor through the right foot and extend through your left, up and back. And exhale, stepping the left leg in between the hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, rises the arms up into your low lunge. High lunge, why do I keep doing that? High lunge. You can lower the leg into a low lunge if you'd like. But otherwise we are in our high lunges. Finding stability here. Feeling those strong legs keeping you supported. Inhale into your cow face arms. So inhaling inhaling the left arm up and over behind your back. Right arm swings behind you to maybe grab a hand of your left hand behind your back, otherwise just grabbing hold of your t-shirt. Inhale to create space through the chest. And on your next inhale, releasing the bind of the arms, inhaling to sweep them up, and exhale, we plant them down on the mat, framing the front foot, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to look up towards the top of the mat and hopping up to the top. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, forward fold. And with a bend in the knees, we rise up, vertebra by vertebra, to the top of the mat. Coming into, you can stay at the top of your mat, but I'm going to come here so that you can see what I'm doing. So we're coming into tree today. But before we get to that, as with any balance, it's really important for you to think of your drishti, so your point of focus. So before coming into anything like that, focusing on a point in front of you, whether that's on the floor or in the wall in front. And we're going to begin swaying from side to side and really exaggerate the weight coming into one leg and then the other. Slowly but surely. And then almost start lifting one side off the mat, and then as you come to sway onto the right hand side, your left foot picks up. Doing that again, swaying from one side to the other, feeling the balance, feeling that your body will make up for an imbalance. Swaying from side to side, and then almost without even thinking about it, when you next come to the left hand side, so you're on your left foot, picking up your right foot, and staying here in this balance, coming into your tree variation. So your foot can either be leaning on just above your ankle or your lower leg, or if you want to help it up into your thigh, you can do so, avoiding the knee at all costs. Feeling an opening through your hips, through your groin, getting comfortable here and focusing on your drishti, finding your point of focus to help channel that inner balance, engaging your core. And once you feel like you have found your point of stillness, opening your arms up just below you, maybe coming into a mudra with your hands. Or perhaps opening your arms up and out as though you are a tree blossoming in the spring. It's really beautiful. Fantastic. And now slowly unravelling from your tree and coming back into your swaying from one side to the other. So whenever you're ready, just letting go of this leg position and coming back into your swaying from side to side. This can be as exaggerated as you want. Imagine the movement through your body, really connecting with every part of your body here. Coming onto the other side whenever you feel ready, so stepping onto your right foot, left foot lifts, finding your balance, and then coming to place your foot wherever you were in the last one, so either down below with your foot still on the mat, or perhaps your lower leg, or you bring it into your thigh. Again, avoiding your standing legs knee. Opening up through the hips. Feeling strong and stable. Finding your point of drishti. And connecting with your breath and your inner channel. Extending the arms out long. Perhaps they're coming up towards the sky. Finding stability here. Welcoming this peace and this stillness. Beautiful. Now, as you're all at the top of the mat and I have come into the middle, I'm just going to go back to the top of the mat, but you stay here in your trees. So, from your tree, letting go of your foot, coming back to stand both feet at the top of the mat. Coming into your chair pose, so as though you are sitting back into a chair, arms rise up and over. There's not too much of a bend in the lower back, but there is a bit of a curve. You can see your toes. Your knees are above your ankles, gaze is up. As we inhale, we lengthen through the spine. As we exhale, we deepen our chair pose, our squat. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to get ever so slightly deeper. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, we come into a forward fold. Straightening through the legs, relaxing the head. We're coming into chair one more time, so sweeping the arms up and over, sit bones go back, inhale, exhale to get deeper, inhale for length, exhale for deeper, inhale for length, and exhale, we come to sit gracefully onto the mat. Really beautiful. Finding the standasana shape again. Getting your cushion here for our final posture of the day. I didn't want to end in Shavasana, our usual lying down pose, because it's early in the morning, so I didn't want to be sending you back to sleep. But if you get your cushion in between your legs, and if you get into a comfortable posture, and just begin easing yourself into a bit of a forward fold until your head can possibly touch the cushion. Legs are out long and relaxed. going to rest here for as long as you need, taking in the practice that we've just done, thanking our bodies for the practice and the movement and the breath. And feeling well adjusted to the morning and well equipped for the day. I hope you've enjoyed this class, and I hope it has given you a really nice start to your day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow or whenever you next decide to join me. This doesn't have to be a daily practice, but whenever you feel like you need a little stretch in the morning, I hope that you choose my class and my 5 days of morning yoga. From whatever posture you find yourself in now, we inhale, roll the arms up, and we slowly roll through the spine. Lowering the hands down to the mat, removing the cushion and coming into a comfortable seated posture, whatever that is for you. Taking the biggest breath that you have so far today, inhaling all together and exhaling through the mouth, getting rid of any heat. Doing that one more time through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Beautiful. And in stillness we find ourselves. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope you're well and I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.